Welcome back. We are still on the topic quadratic functions. We started solving these questions in the previous video. We solved the first three. In this video, we are going to solve the three remaining ones. Let's begin with the fourth one. Find the quadratic equation with roots -1 and -2. In the previous video, we said that we are going to assume that the variable in the equation is x. If the variable in the equation is x, then the quadratic equation is giving us x squared minus sum of roots x plus product of roots is equal to 0. The roots are -1 and -2. So you have x squared minus sum of roots. So you add -1 to -2. -1 plus -2 is written as -1 minus 2. So we have -1 minus 2x plus product of roots. So you multiply the roots. -1 times -2, and this is equal to 0. -1 minus 2 will give us -3. So you have x squared minus into bracket -3x -1 times -2 give us +2. So we have x squared minus into bracket -3x plus 2 is equal to 0. This minus here is the same as -1. So when we do that, we are going to have -1 times -3x. -1 times -3x is +3x. So our equation is x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. So the quadratic equation with roots -1 and -2 is x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Let's move on to the next example. Find the quadratic equation with roots 1 divided by 2 and -3. So the roots are half and -3. The formula is x squared minus sum of roots x plus product of roots is equal to 0. So you have x squared minus sum of roots. So we add the roots. 1 divided by 2 plus -3, which can also be written as -3 plus 1 divided by 2. So we have x squared minus into bracket -3 plus 1 divided by 2x plus product of roots. So we multiply the roots. -3 times 1 divided by 2 is equal to 0. Okay. -3 plus 1 divided by 2 give us -5 divided by 2. And -3 times 1 divided by 2 give us -3 divided by 2. So our equation now is x squared minus into bracket -5 divided by 2x minus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 0. This will give us x squared minus -5 divided by 2x will give us plus 5 divided by 2x minus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 0. We have fractions in our equation. We are going to multiply through by the LCM of the denominators to remove the fractions. So our equation is x squared plus 5 divided by 2x minus 3 divided by 2 is equal to 0. We have two fractions here. In the first fraction, that is 5 divided by 2x, the denominator is 2. In the second fraction, that is 3 divided by 2, the denominator is 2. So we multiply each term in this equation by 2. We will have 2 times x squared plus 2 times 5 divided by 2x minus 2 times 3 divided by 2 is equal to 2 times 0. 2 times x squared will give us 2x squared. When you come here, 2 times 5 divided by 2x, you will see that 2 will cancel itself 1 and cancel 2 here 1. So you have 1 times 5x, which will give us 5x. In the same way, 2 will cancel itself 1 cancel here 1. We will have minus 1 times 3, and that will give us minus 3. 2 times 0 is 0. So our equation is 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. So the quadratic equation with roots 1 divided by 2 and minus 3 is 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. Let's look at the last example. Find the quadratic equation with roots minus 1 divided by 4 and minus 2 divided by 5. The formula is x squared minus sum of roots x plus product of roots is equal to 0. So you have x squared minus sum of roots, so minus 1 divided by 4 plus minus 2 divided by 5, which is minus 1 divided by 4 minus 2 divided by 5x plus product of roots. So we multiply the roots, minus 1 divided by 4 times minus 2 divided by 5, and this is equal to 0. Our equation will become x squared minus 1 divided by 4 minus 2 divided by 5 will give us minus 13 divided by 20. You can do this on your calculator. Minus 1 divided by 4 minus 2 divided by 5. That will give us minus 13 divided by 20. So you have minus 13 divided by 20x minus 1 divided by 4 times minus 2 divided by 5 will give us plus 1 divided by 20. So our equation is x squared minus 13 divided by 20x plus 1 divided by 10 is equal to 0. We know that minus 13 divided by 20x will give us positive 13 divided by 20x. So our equation will become x squared plus 13 divided by 20x plus 1 divided by 10 is equal to 0. We are going to multiply each term in this equation by the LCM of the denominators to remove the fraction. So our equation is x squared plus 13 divided by 20x plus 1 divided by 10 is equal to 0. The denominator here is 20. The denominator here is 10. So the LCM is 20. We are going to multiply each term by 20. So you multiply the first term by 20. 20 times x squared. We multiply the second term by 20. We have 20 times 13 divided by 20x plus we multiply this term by 20. We have 20 times 1 divided by 10 is equal to, we multiply 0 by 20. We have 20 times 0. 20 times x squared will give us 20x squared. When you come here, you will see that 20 will cancel itself 1 and cancel 21. In the same way, 10 will cancel itself 1 and 10 will cancel itself 1, and to cancel 22. Okay, so we will have 20 times x squared, we have 20x squared plus 1 times 13x, which will give us 13x, 2 times 1, which will give us 2, and this is equal to 0 since 20 times 0 is 0. So the quadratic equation with roots minus 1 divided by 4 and minus 2 divided by 5 is 20x squared plus 13x plus 2 is equal to 0. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel for more videos. So far, we have learned how to factorize a quadratic expression. We have learned how to solve a quadratic equation. We have also learned how to find a quadratic equation when the roots or the solution of the equation is given to you. In the next video, we are going to move on to the second part of our topic, which is graph of quadratic functions. So we are going to learn how to draw the graph of a quadratic function. Bye-bye.